intriguing guest. So I'm excited to welcome to the program Tim Smith of Discovery Channel's Moonshiners. Tim, thanks for stopping by. And how did you get discovered for this? I mean, you look like you definitely fit the part for
Yeah.
sure. But how did this happen? And I think it's a great conversation to have in a show like this, especially where we're seeing alcohol change its real trajectory in this year, for especially this year.
Yeah. Well, the show got started by a producer from McGilla Entertainment that's kind of showed up at my house one day. And, and you know how they find moonshiners? They go to the law enforcement, and they go to law enforcement to find out, who's been arrested, you know. And my dad always said that was a good marketing because when you got arrested, they put it on front page of paper. And the funny story was I never been arrested. I'd never been
Oh,
arrested. Had nothing to do with it. So when a production producer shows up, he has an interest in my father, which my father was like, "Oh no, we don't have nothing to do with that. That's like siding with the government here. We're not going to side with the government. We plant our own corn, we make our own liquor. We don't have nothing to do with that." Well, 2 months later, my dad had an accident and died.
sorry.
And I called that producer up, and they goes, "Well, my dad's dead now. It's just me. So what do you want to talk about?" You know, and one thing led to the next. You want to talk about moonshining, and I'm like, "Well, we've been doing it my entire life." And he's like, "Really?" They thought it just started or something. I'm like, "No, this ain't started. It's 300 years ago it started. This is how America got started." So they thought it was very, very, interest there. And Discovery Channel had never did like a reality type TV show. So I said, "Hey, just jump in the truck, follow me." And it's kind of started like that.
Okay, so let's dive deeper into this, Tim.
Yeah.
Basically, define moonshining for me because I'm just intrigued. I have an idea, but I wouldn't think it's lucrative, especially with alcohol being legal. But go ahead.
Well, I mean, think about moonshine. There's no tax, right? And you can also tailor moonshine to the customer. So a lot of times when moonshiners go into business, they already have established their customers. It's kind of like a pre-contract thing. They already know what they're going to make and what they want and what they expect. It's already a done deal. It's already sold. Legal, you're just putting it on a shelf and somebody's coming in and looking around. So it's more like shelf talking. It's kind of like the pretty woman on a magazine. You're trying to get them to buy the magazine, but you don't know what's inside the magazine. You just know it's a pretty woman on outside the magazine. So when you go to the liquor the same way. But illegal moonshine, there's no label on it. So you got to sell what's in the jar. You're not selling the label.
I see. And is it hard not to get caught? And you said you've never been put in jail?
No, no, I've never been arrested. No, been questioned about it. But no, it is challenging because now we got the TV show, right?
Yeah, that's what
The
I'm
TV
wondering.
show.
You're kind of putting
Yeah, you got
yourself
the
out
TV show.
there, and who
No,
goes after that? Who goes after moonshiners? What is it? Is it local law enforcement or is it national law enforcement? How does that work?
well, it falls in all categories. It's local, it's state, and it's federal. It can be all. And there's specialized agencies also, like the DEA, ATF, and those kind of guys. You always got that regulates the alcohol, but you got the law enforcement of that side also. So, you got the guy that runs radar and he catches the guy speeding down the road. And then you got the guy that deals with the domestic assaults. And then you got the guy who's dealing with the drunk drive. And then you got that one, he's looking for the underage drinking, right? Which that gets towards the moonshine a lot of times. Because guess what? You don't have to go to the liquor store. You just got to know somebody. So a lot of times that's where there's tutored towards, the law enforcement. Hey, we got to stop this because it could fall into the wrong hands. Not saying that moonshiners are going to sell to an underage drinker, but it's illegal. People love anything that's illegal. If we can get away with it, we'll probably go 100 miles an hour down the road if we can get away with it. But how long can we do that? Not until we see that radar.
Oh, wow. And so with now happening, it's on television. How are you going to keep yourself from not going to jail?
Don't tell everybody where you're at before you make the show. Just tell them where you was after you made the show.
Oh, wow.
You got to be arrested in the act of committing the crime. Again, speeding down the road. I can't arrest you for last year, can I?
I
I
got
got
it.
to
So
arrest
if
you
you're in
when
a
you're
different
speeding.
location and different thing. Now, do you feel is it a lucrative business, moonshining?
Sure, it is. It's all profit. Whatever you make it, that's what it's going to be. If you're dealing with the legal government, they control it. That's what it's all about. They control it. If you in your business, it's your business. You name your price.
What about the IRS coming after you? I don't think you have to worry about that till there's a change in administrations, but because the IRS just goes and sends you. What about the IRS coming after you and paying taxes?
Well, they got to know who you are. They got to know what you're doing. Again, it's accountability. So, how do they know how much money you made? I don't know. I didn't make any money.
Right. That's what a lot of
Hey,
people should do,
again,
right? I didn't make any money. It's
well,
sometimes
look at
ego.
administration.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, look at administration. What did the administration tell us? I don't owe any taxes. I didn't make any money. It's almost like I'm a nonprofit organization here.
And the only way they could figure it out is by catching you. And if you, so you must have a very hidden lifestyle, even though you're on television now.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'll probably take these bibs off. You wouldn't know who it was.
So literally, the documentary does not, the show does not show you where you are today, right? They don't know how to find your location or anything.
No,
Is this an
no.
alias
If
name,
it did,
Tim?
I mean, yes. That's the funny part. Everyone asks, what's Tickle's name? Tickle is his name. But think about it. If you was going to go rob the bank downtown, would you call a law enforcement and say, hey, I'm going to be over there at 1 o'clock. We got a couple of guys that are going to go in and rob the bank. You want to come by and watch? You wouldn't do that,
So
right?
literally,
You
I
know,
couldn't find. So this is an alias. Tim Smith is an alias name.
not really. I'm still Tim Smith.
But people can't find you, right? You're very secretive.
They can find me sometimes, but don't use the social media or internet because I don't have it. I had to drive 12 miles to get service just to talk to you.
Well, it's amazing you're on my show, and I love it. It's fantastic. Last question, because
Yeah,
I could
me
talk
too.
to you. I could talk to you for hours based on this.
Look,
So
I got
basically,
an answer
you're
for
see
every
because you're an
question.
entrepreneur and you're doing the best entrepreneur because you're not killing people. It's not like drugs, like certain
Yeah,
bad drugs,
uh-uh.
and
Yeah,
it's lucrative. You don't pay any taxes. Who do you sell to?
yeah.
Who do you sell to?
Customers who want to buy our product.
So is it bigger customers or small? It doesn't matter. How do you
Well,
market that product?
well, the the product markets itself. Again, it doesn't even have a label on it. You don't have a label on it. You don't have a proof on it. You don't have any of that on it. That has already been negotiated years ago. All of that was years ago. I'm just following the coattail of my dad. Is all I'm doing. It was already sold and been sold, and they want more of it.
Well, it might give a lot of people to say, forget the government. There was an episode about, doing it as moonshining on Tulsa King, but it was kind
Yeah.
of that way where they got shut down and they started moonshining. Yeah, I don't know. You saw that episode of Tulsa King where they talked
No,
about that.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it, but I mean, I know it's a way of life. So think about when they turn the internet off. What is people going to do then? What are they going to do? Right? If you just cut that internet off, it's because people have kind of got into that trend of using it, and they know they can't survive without it. They even got bank accounts. I know people's got the bank account on their phone. They can't even go to the store they can't buy nothing unless they use the phone and connect to
And I'm
that
sure you're a
internet.
cash business. That's for sure.
I don't have that problem.
I got
And
it.
my dad always says, if you don't know how much money you got too much.
All right. So it's already premiered it's already premiered January 6th. Go to the Discovery Channel
Yeah,
and check it out. There's and on
yeah.
the Discovery app. Appreciate it,
Yep.
Tim. You're an amazing
Thank
interview.
you.
Thank you. All right.
Outstanding.